Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller. So you want to fix the Basilisk for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. Why is this monster, even though it is challenge rating 3, not a solo monster or legendary monster? Because it doesn't fight with other creatures. If it did, it would just petrify everything. So these are the things I would suggest trying to do. Look at the armor class. The armor class was too low. I've made it a 14, even with natural armor. This is much more in line with a challenge rating 3 monster. Then hit points. Its hit points were too low. I've gone 10d8 plus 30, which gives you an average of 75 or 110 hit points. I've adjusted its con score, so instead of it being where it was before, it's now at 16, you get a plus 3. And there's a couple of reasons for this, but it's mostly around its feature, which is to do with petrifying and poisoning people. It didn't have any saving throws, so it now has a dexterity saving throw of +1 and a wisdom saving throw of +1. There's no skills whatsoever, so I've given it perception +1 for that. Damage immunities didn't have any, it now does. Poison, because we're going to have a poisonous breath. Condition immunities, I'll put blinded, deafened and poisoned. One because of the poison breath, but blinded and deafened because its eyes are magical and I don't think it should be getting blinded or deafened. It had dark vision as one of its senses. I've gone blind sight 60 feet because I think that's far more in line with how it operates. It doesn't just use its eyes, it uses lots of other things. You know, it's basically a big lizard. Passive perception was like a 9, now it is an 11. And then I've given it, because I think it should be a legendary monster, legendary resistance once per round. I've made some adjustments to the petrifying gaze. The DC was way too low, so I've gone and pushed that up to a 13 for the petrifying gaze. And because turning to stone is not a huge amount of fun and you need to find some way of getting out of that, if you don't have access to the restoration magic that you need, then using the saliva of the creature smeared onto the body of somebody who's been petrified will transform their flesh back into what they were before. So that's a way of getting out of the petrified gaze situation if you wind up getting stuck. It didn't have multi-attack, but I've given it multi-attack with a bite and a claw. Its bite attack is pretty good. I don't want to change anything other than the fact that if you take poison damage, you should also have the poison condition. So I've added that to the bite. The claw is just a +5, which is fine. It's in line with the bite and the challenge rating that we have of 3. And then the damage is just 6 on average, or 1d6 +3 piercing damage. It's got to have legendary actions. To be a solo monster or fight on its own, it needs to have these. So you get to get one at the end of every player's turn. Standard actions that you can use are things like dash, dodge, grapple, search, and shove. Search is kind of a waste of your time though. Basic attack, the bite or the claw, pick either one. You're probably going to pick the bite over the claw, and that's fine. Poisonous breath, once per round as a legendary action. Okay, the Basilisk can exhale poisonous gas in a 10-foot cone. Each creature in the area must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or take 10 or 3d6 poisonous damage. On a failed save, half as much damage on a successful one. And in addition, the creature also has the poison condition whether they succeed or not on the saving throw. Doesn't matter. If you take any poison damage, you're going to get poison condition. And this is how I would rebuild the Basilisk so it can work. Because right now, if you run it the way it is, sometimes it's all right, but most of the time it's not. And I'll put this up onto Patreon if you're interested.